Hi, everybody. This is John Farian, and I'm here with Emily. Emily, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we've got something like the title of the show says, "What are we doing?" And Emily and I are here after it was so amazing. We had a quick networking conversation going
Mhm.
yesterday that she's going to tell you about here. So, Emily, you actually reached out to me yesterday morning or the night before, I think it was, and I responded to you yesterday morning. Talk us through kind of what was going through your mind as you reached out, and then we'll share back and forth about how we stumbled into this scenario
Yeah,
that we're in right now.
for sure. Yeah. So, man, it had been a while since you and I spoke, and I just I had seen your profile, and I was like, I gotta see how he's doing. And as we were connecting, we walked through some family stuff. We walked through fun things we're gonna do this summer. We both love motorcycles, so that was helpful. Doing that with our
Definitely.
family. But then the other piece of it was just kind of where we are on our career journey. And as we continued to explore some of the obstacles that we were facing, some of the things that have gone well, we
Yeah.
noticed that there were a lot of roadblocks. There were like resume questions, networking questions. And here we are today. So, John, I don't know if you want to give maybe a little bit more insight on kind of what brought
Yeah.
us here and how long
Well,
you've been doing podcasts.
yeah. No, it's exciting because part of our discussion, you had brought up that you were thinking about doing some kind of a podcast around different things, and as you were talking, immediately like the hair in the back of my neck stood up and the tingly senses all kicked in because those who maybe know me over in the world of Facebook, I've actually been for over 6 years now, been doing a very similar live video format like this, doing a show that I call Live Large Universe. And what I tell everybody live large means is live life to the fullest, make the most of
Yep.
every day, and make a difference to others, right? And I do it in the space of motorized sports. So snowmobiling specifically, we talk about, snowmobile safety and education, positive growth of the sport. And the crazy thing is the software that I use is applicable here to LinkedIn. And I'm like, I've been in the back of my mind thinking, I want to do something in my professional space on LinkedIn. And when you said it, I was like, oh my gosh, like I love you. I love this concept. I love the ability to get together and do this. And I'm way more comfortable, honestly and authentically telling you that doing this with somebody else and taking some of the heat off of just me. And I'm sure you feel the same way. Like we can partner on this, right?
Yes. Well, and
Very good.
funny enough, the morning of speaking with you, I was talking to my daughter and I'm like, Brielle, I really think that I should do a podcast. And she's so funny. She goes, Ma, are you sure? Do you really think you should? And I'm glad that I said yes. Yes, I do. Because
Yeah.
here we are today.
Yeah, and we quickly scheduled it before either of us had a chance to change our minds. And so, for everybody who's watching, just know that, this is a nervous moment for us. Like, this is our personal
Mhm.
lives, our professional careers. We're leaning into our network. But we know we're confident, both of us are confident that we have so many amazing people in our networks on both
Yeah.
sides. I mean, we have some mutual contacts, but you have contacts, I have contacts, and there's so many people who have so much expertise across things like you've already mentioned one, but like, resume building, networking, career growth,
Mhm.
mental health, all these different things that are going on. And I think it's important to, just share that with the world and allow us to, expand our network as we're sharing our network, I think is the way I look at it too. And, both of us frankly are in a career journey right now too. And we're both looking for new opportunities. And we thought this would be the perfect way to spend some time while showcasing what we have to offer the world. Right. So,
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't have said it better myself.
no problem. So Emily, let's do everybody a favor, and so for the folks who know me maybe more, let them get to know you. So give us a little bit more detailed introduction of kind of who you are, what you're about, where you're at, maybe a little bit about your family.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a wife. I'm a mother of four. So oldest is all the way up to 21, all the way down to 9. So we got the full gamut. Always so fun though, and seeing them interact is a blast. I'm a dog mom, so we got a German Shepherd. We have a Golden Retriever. I am also a bearded dragon mom, and I will tell
Wow.
you right now, I still don't know what I'm doing, but we're figuring it out. Um, and I've been in the tech industry for just about 20 years now,
That's
multiple
amazing.
different roles. But I'm mid-career, and I'm on my journey, and I'm excited for this because there is a lot of talent out there, and I think there's a lot that we can learn together. So I'm excited. But that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So for those who are in your network, maybe they'll get to know me a little bit here too. And what I'll share with you is that, again, I've been in I guess the tech space, it's been a journey for sure. I mean, literally starting as an hourly associate right out of high school, working at the local 1 hour photo at Walmart, right? Like it was a career journey that I started thinking I was going to be a photographer, and I fell very quickly into this corporate life. And so, Walmart was the place that I spent the first 18 years of my career, and then that evolved into a transition into T-Mobile. Spent another 10 years there. And I think between Walmart and T-Mobile, you and I were laughing about the fact that, we have a lot of mutual past contacts that we have in our
Hmm.
lives. And there's very likely we were probably in the same store the same day at the same time.
Cross
But
paths.
because we were competitors, you were at AT&T and T and I was at T-Mobile, we
Yeah.
probably were like, oh, we got to keep our space. But the reality is our paths have been crossing in Minnesota for years, very likely. And then, the most recent time I've had was the last 4 years have been at Microsoft, working with, the Xbox team there. And for me
Hmm.
personally, I was, part of a corporate layoff. And, I've gone through this before in my life, but I'm finally at a stage in my life where I'm embracing these moments where, you don't get to choose your path always, but you always
Hmm.
get to have gratitude for your path, and you can navigate it by just staying positive, doing productive things like starting a new podcast on LinkedIn that I'd
A
love to know if
hundred
anybody
percent.
knows, is anybody else on LinkedIn doing anything like this? Because I know in the Facebook world, I'm one of a few people doing this, and it's a really cool opportunity. And I think the last thing I think we should do, Emily, is talk about kind of what our mission and our vision is for what we want to accomplish. Do you want to cover that with everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to go verbatim. Okay. So
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
I'm going to call that out there. Our objective is really to make this as authentic as possible. And when I say authentic, I mean, and truly just allow us to be vulnerable and
This is
we,
live. We have
we
no
hope,
choice but to
yeah,
be authentic. Keep that in mind, right?
that's the beauty. That's the beauty. And I haven't seen a lot of live. I probably should do a little more social media, but I'm on LinkedIn often, and I will say I don't always see a lot of live content. So that part's neat. But from a mission standpoint, to empower and enlighten professionals across the globe by sharing our journey of career navigation, fostering growth, and embracing human-centered authenticity. We commit to delivering insightful content that resonates with our core values of faith, family, and community. And we've
Very
talked
good.
about that a lot. I
Yeah.
think I would say even over the years, just how blessed we are to have just such amazing career journey, family, and experiences.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I think, you and I had spent some time bouncing ideas back and forth literally over the last 24 hours to come up with kind of what do we want our mission statement to be so that we know what we stand for. And then the other
Yeah.
piece of that is kind of, not only what is our mission statement, but what is the vision for what we're trying to accomplish. And again, I'm going to read
Mhm.
this verbatim as we've documented at this point in here we go. It says to become the authentic voice in a professional podcasting space, or reorganize for inspiring individuals to achieve personal and career growth while staying true to their values. We envision creating vibrant community where listeners can find guidance, support, and a sense of belonging as they pursue their aspirations. Right. And I think it's a good statement for I know where I'm at in my life right now. Like, I'm looking for a career and a job that inspires me. Like I'm finally at a point in my career where the companies that I'm interviewing with, I'm scrutinizing them, frankly, almost more than I think they're going to scrutinize me, right? Like because
Mhm.
aligning with culture, aligning with values, having work that feels meaningful, all of these things are so important for us to have our best versions of ourselves and keep our mental health in a good place where it's at.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than being in a job that we hate, right? I think I've experienced it in my career. I know you probably have as well too. And
Yeah.
that's no fun. And so we just want to be here and help others along the way.
Yeah. Hey, that's the goal. And at the end of the day, like we learn together, we'll grow
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. Well, I know, Emily, you already have some people in mind. We've been kind of sharing some notes back and forth about like, ideas of like who we're going to be reaching out to. And we'll keep that top secret in the public forum for now. But just know that if you're in our network, there's a very good chance we'll be reaching out to you to kind of lean into your expertise. But we also want to just let you know that if you're coming across us, you're seeing this, maybe you're not either one of us, like send us a LinkedIn request to connect. We'd love to connect with you. We'd love to talk with you if you have expertise. Maybe you have a business, maybe you're an entrepreneur and you have a business that you want to highlight. If you can bring value to the show and help other people, we're happy to also highlight your business as well and what you do. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Can I give a little teaser?
oh, please. But just be careful because if they
Okay.
tell you no, if you ask for a guest and they say no, then it's
Oh,
on the air forever,
oh,
right?
fine. No, so not people, but maybe some of
Okay.
the content, like
Topics.
upcoming
Yep.
weeks. So some topics that we've kind of toyed around with a little bit. Resume
Yeah.
recommendations. So thinking about what are like the top 10 things we got to make sure we have in our resume that's going to set us apart. LinkedIn profile recommendations,
Yeah.
networking. So, like, what are some tips and tricks around how we can really increase our network, but tap into old network too? You know, it's been funny over the last few weeks. And some of you are watching this or will watch it, and you're like, oh, maybe that's why Emily reached out to me.
There
But
you
I
go.
was kind of going back in time, and man, I should have kept these connections a little more alive. And it was
I
very
agree.
apparent to me.
Yeah, I felt the same way
Um,
as I've gone through mine too. Same thing. So.
yeah. Do you want to give a couple additional ones?
Yeah, so I don't have them. Where are they at here? Right in front of me. I know we talked about a few different ones. Let me start at the bottom. I know some of the other things we're talking about. We both have college age students in our households. Like I've got a
Yep.
22 and a 20-year-old son. I think your two oldest are very similar age, and we're thinking about like what can we offer, being kind of mid-career in our life cycles of our career, and what can we offer to the people who are watching. And I think there's a lot to offer for the younger people coming up, like, things like financial investing, just networking, like some of the things we've already talked about, but just giving the perspective of why it's important to somebody who's young in their career. And, there's that old question of like, what advice would you give the 18-year-old version of yourself, right? Like,
Yeah.
and we have that opportunity to do that with our own kids. It's pretty amazing. Um, I don't know if you know this, Emily, or not, but I actually had the opportunity. I was invited. One of my kids my oldest one was in the Foster School of Business at the University of Washington. And I was actually invited in as a guest speaker back in, I think it was mid 2023. And the opportunity to go into a group of, 100 plus students and to be able to give an inspirational talk about career and planning and this concept. And believe it or not, those who know me well know I weaved in this concept of live life to the fullest, right? It's like make the most of every day and make a difference to others. And the thing that I call live large, right? And so you're going to hear, what I call in the background here, live large university productions. On my Facebook page, you're going to hear live large universe. I kind of consider all of it together, the universe of live large. But that's when I say live large, just, that's what I mean. It's that live life to the fullest, make the most of every day and make a difference to others, right? So that's going to be weaved in there. And I shared some of that messaging with those college students, and it was very overwhelmingly positive feedback of like what is going to help them through their journey and their career. So it was a lot of fun doing that.
That's awesome. That sounds like a blast. I would love
It
to
was a
do
good
it.
time. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up today, and hopefully this is enough of an introduction for everybody there too. But what final thing do you want to leave with the audience here, Emily?
Yeah, so we want your perspective. We would love your ideas. So we just ask that either send it to us directly. If you want to use the comment area, that's totally fine too. But the more communication that we can have in knowing, where can we help you grow, and who can we invite on that's an expert
Yeah.
that can help us do that. Like we're doing it together. That's the objective.
Yeah, and if somebody, like to your point, puts it in the comments and tags somebody else and says like so and so would be an amazing guest, we'll be happy to reach out to that person and see if we can coordinate something. That'd be a lot of fun. So,
Yeah, hey, I'm down.
all right. Well, my final thoughts with everybody is very similar. So, just we're grateful for the opportunity to do this. We're not taking this lightly, and knowing that this is probably
100%.
fairly new in this space. Like this is really important. I think it potentially is kind of a next evolution of what things can be done on LinkedIn, because I think I've seen a lot of recorded content, a lot of image content, a lot of celebration. But this is, from my perspective, based on my exposure to LinkedIn, this is very unique. And I think we have the
Mhm.
ability to really kind of, pioneer something here and help a ton of people along the way. And I think that's where both Emily and I are motivated. I think her and I were comparing notes during our LinkedIn, our initial kind of networking conversation, and I'll cover them. You're like, Emily, I went through my list of 5 values and priorities, and you're like, I'm aligned. And what those
Yes.
are is our faith, right? Like number one is our faith. Right behind
Mhm.
that is our spouses. And so when I think of like how I'm going to organize my life, if I keep my faith in mind as I go through my marriage with my spouse, and then with family and friends was the third priority. And then believe it or not, this is a professional network, but I'm going to say it out loud. Number four on my list is my career, right? Like I need to make sure that my faith, my family, my spouse are all
Hmm.
prioritized in my life before I can actually have a successful, focused career. And then finally, all the things that everybody sees and accuses me of is going out and playing all the time and having these adventures with Jeeps and snowmobiles. Like number five for me is my adventures. I know for you, it's like motorcycling and probably going to the cabin up north or whatever, but like that's part of your family
Yeah.
time too. But again, if you prioritize all those things, you get to have the best of all of it, right? Or if all of a sudden your hobbies become more important than your job, or your job becomes more important than your kids or your wife,
Mhm.
that, or my, your husband in your case, or my faith, right? If I'm not keeping my faith involved in all of those, it's really hard to make sure that all of them can be done successfully. But, it's an amazing thing. And so I leave everybody with this idea of like, bless you all. Thank you all for being here, and have an amazing rest of your day. And we'll hope to see you very soon when we got some more content. So thanks, everybody.
See you soon. Thank you so much.